Hey guys, this is Bonfrey from L World, and you are watching FA Advance. Well, it sort of used to be L World, now it's mostly Ephesus, and this is my Ephesus city. If you know who I am, you know what I do. If you don't, I'm long format, I babble on quite a bit, and in today's video, I really want to talk about something that I've been trying to figure out how to get this across. And the only way that I know how to say it is just to talk about it as if you're in the room with me, which is really kind of has to do with the human aspect of this game. If you've been following the channel or not following the channel, I'll try to bring you up to speed. But I really want to talk about the fact that the guild that I started in Ephesus a couple months ago has been just amazing. It's just blown me away. And this is by none of my own doing, other than just starting the guild, doing what I do, in terms of other than just having the mindset of inviting others that have like a pay it forward mindset, that have like, hey, if you are a higher up arc than another player, or you have more resources than another player that joins the guild, help them out, right? Give them cheap spots on GBs, help them with unfair trades on goods so that they can, create GBs, age up, etc. Right? So this idea that um, if you've been experiencing the game and you showed up here in Ephesus because either my videos or you were starting a diamond farm or you were new to the game, whatever, right? So the thing that's been interesting is that I've just been totally blown away by the fact that we have a 75-year span in age between the youngest player and the oldest player in our guild. So, as far as I know, the youngest player in our guild is stated he's 15 years old. We have another player that's my son's age that is 17 years old, who have both recruited quite a few other players. And then we have the oldest player who joined recently, and he's 90 years old. So, according to this cat here, Mount Victory in Jesus, who, by the way, shares my avatar, which is really confusing to me. This is not. This was an event avatar that I went heartily after a few events ago, and I'm not changing it, and I doubt he is either, and I'm not going to ask him to. So we're just both the same avatar. Um, this dude is 90 years old. He's legally blind. He's waiting for an eyeball transplant. He's very experienced in the game. Um, and he plays on a 65-inch TV so that he can sit like a few feet from the TV and see, right? Like see the text, level his GBs, etc. And so we're helping him rebuild. He just joined about a week ago. Like I said, very experienced player. We've had other experienced players join from other worlds who are like, they heard about what we're doing. Friends of friends, whatever. Fire up here on Ephesus, and it's been pretty crazy. Like so, the whole idea is to just help each other and lift each other up and um, we have just got a very eclectic group of people. I mean, we've got several career veterans in the group, folks that are retiring, folks that are midlife with kids, and we're telling each other stories, which is great because when you think about the idea that in this game, like you have the opportunity to really like lift other people up, right? You can also tear them down. You can also talk smack in global. Um, and that's fine. Like what's cool about this game is that everyone can play their version of their game, right? And you can be an actor, you can be more real life, you can be like vulnerable, not vulnerable. You can be tough. You can just be someone you're not. Um, you can be another gender, uh, etc. Right? Like a lot of people don't know. But one of the things that has happened to me, in my real life is that I've made some real life friends in this game. Um, I've not been um, careless in terms of like, sharing my personal information or anything like that. But I also think there's this intuitive, instinctive aspect to the game where, you know, as you get to know somebody, maybe, you end up on Discord or chat, things like that. I mean, the golden age of this game was guild versus guild. And if you weren't around then, I'm sorry you weren't, and I don't mean to like flaunt that. It was just a special time in this game, and I'll explain why. If you've heard anyone say like, "Oh my God, I miss GVG. I left because GVG, and then I came back." Well, some people left because of GVG being ended and never came back. They're not even here. They're not watching my videos. They're not talking to you. They're not playing the game. But the reason that GVG I think was so amazing is because it was this like server reset time that came down to the second, server reset, every day, same time. And it was almost like a watch party, right? Like we would get on and, those of us that were socially oriented would jump on Discord, we would get on a voice chat, and we would coordinate, right? You'd have like the shot callers, and then you'd have like all of us that were, battling, including the shot callers and whatever. Oh, there's something going on over here, and we would interact with this map. And it was fast, it was furious, it was like totally ridiculous, right? Like, I mean, and it just sort of eviscerated us all together. Like, it just glued us all together, got us to know people in the guild. Because, like, if you think about today, like what's going on today in the world, right? Like, you have NPCs, if you will, you have like AI, you have like, you don't know if maybe deep fake, like, you're watching YouTube, you're not sure if even this person you're watching is a real person. At least in the context of this game right now, today, in October of 2025, I'm fairly certain that everybody that is in my guild or chatting on global or whatever, given, you know, they may or may not be up to good or no good, they're a person, that's real, right? Like, so just under the assumption that we're dealing with people here. So every one of these avatars, right? And these names represent somebody that's real, and they're logging in. They've got a soul, they've got a life, they speak a language or more than one language. And that's been interesting to me in this game, is that I've met people from all over the world, all separate time zones. Um, I have good friends that I've met in this game in real life that have blown me away. Like, I mean, I have an investment partner that I met in this game, that I met 7 or 8 years ago. And I have another friend who lives in Alaska. And, on my bucket list is like, I want to see the Northern Lights ever since I was like 12 years old. And I saw it on the cover of Nat Geo, and I was like, how is this real? And, I've been playing this game with her for 10 years plus. And, she's got a place up in Alaska. And I'm like, hey, let's talk. And, maybe I'll come up and my family will come up there, and we'll hang out and see the Northern Lights. So, there are some amazing things that happen in this game. Now, some people, I think, don't go as deep that way. Like, I'm looking for joy in the journey in this game. Like, I want to have a great time and enrich my life through enriching other people's lives, right? Like, so, in the guild, for example, just to show you, like, We have like cheapo help spots for GB for great buildings, and then we have like P1 lock thread, meaning that I take my daily collection, and when I collect, I'm like, hey, everybody in the guild, post your GB here. I don't care if it's a level 1 or level 19 or 13 or whatever. And just as a side point of technicality, generally when someone does sticks in our guild here on Ephesus, um, we level them up to level 10 like the first day, right? So whatever. That's great. Um, this is not a sink or swim guild, but once they get past that, for anyone, including myself, that has the ability to overspend FP or at least do a 2.0, we do that here in this thread for P1, right? So say like Mount Victory Jesus, he's like rebuilding because this is the dude that's 90 years old. He his son I think was helping him play the game, and I don't know what happened, but he ended up all of his GBs ended up being deleted, right? So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, come over here, we'll help you out. He showed up. Some friends of friends met him. The word is spreading. Like, so one of the things that's weird about and cool about this guild, and I invite any of you who are in the same situation, is that we've got players that are like very experienced in the game that are just saying, "Hey, I'll dip my toe in over at Ephesus. I'll check out the guild. Come over here, see what you're doing." And these are like 1 billion point players plus, and then some of them are not. Some of them are like, "Hey, I've been playing a couple of years, or I'm fairly new. I have a few diamond farms, whatever." We've got a couple diamond farms in the guild. That's fine. Like I don't care. Like none of us care. Like we just all want to support each other, right? And so, like, we play GBG as best we can, and as a result, we're in Diamond League, right? But we're not dominating, and we're not trying to dominate in Diamond League, right? But we're just doing the best we can. We're not a competitive guild; we're a qualitative guild, right? Like, so we're helping each player advance in their own way as they would like most play the game to their best ability, right? Unfair trades in their favor, overpaying for GB spots, etc. Right. So anyway, back to this the cheapo versus the P1 lock. So the idea of the P1 lock is like anybody could post something like so this NO tower at level 15. Well, I'm overpaying at 511 to lock it, right? But I don't care. Like I'm just collecting, and what's crazy is that I'm not trying to hold on to 444,000 FP. When I started the guild, I was at 50,000 FP, and that was only from banking on 190 threads. I was never in a 2.0 thread. I never sniped. Not that, like, if you want to snipe, snipe. It's not a, like, that's your way to play the game. That is a mechanic of this game. If you want to snipe, you want to do the work, you earn it. Go do it. Fine. Leverage that. Help self levelers self level. Whatever. That's cool. This is not from that, right? Like, what happened here was that I started the guild a couple months ago, and then I was like, hey, I just want to spread my FP collection around. So every time I collect 10,000 FP, 12,000 FP, 15,000 FP, whatever it is, I'm going to just spill all that I can to at least lock spots, right? The least I can do. A lot of times I overpay above that, right? So the worst I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 2.0 because once I got my arc to 180, I'm like, I can leverage this as a tool. So, like in this case, I can pay, 740 plus 740, I can pay 1480, um, and then plus some if I need to, right? But because I'm doing that when I collect, it does come back to me. And then I end up with this bank. I can't seem to shrink this thing. So it's like, it's almost like a math model for breaking the game for generosity, right? Like, and I'm like, I don't need this much FP. Like, so I just keep sort of spreading it around as I can. But the thing is that this can be infectious in a good way, right? Like this can lead to not only this mentality in my guild, you can do this anywhere. Like, this is not just only come here and do this. Like, you can flip your interest in the game. And so, like, one of the things I thought about in terms of titling this video, which I haven't decided on yet, is like how I'm, why I'm staying in the game, what keeps me in the game, and I've done other videos on that. And I think fundamentally it's about helping others, right? That's what keeps me in the game, is lifting each other up, and then helping those that are still growing, right? And the reality is, in this game, we're always growing, right? Like, even if you're the top player on the server, you're always growing. You're always trying to find a way to grow. And if you can help others, that's what clicks with this game, is that by helping others grow, you grow. That's the fundamental thing. And if you're trying to be selfish in the game, it's actually kind of hard to be selfish. And now, certainly you can, feed the beast of, the devs, right? Like, playing, pay to play, which I've done in the last year. Like, but I mean, you guys know, like, if you're playing QI, or you're playing, just about any aspect of this game, you'll get these takeovers that show up, which of course aren't showing up right now because, I'm doing a video. But it'd be like, hey, you can spend more diamonds and, get more cool shit, or whatever. And I mean, that's fine, but oh, how crazy is this new QI thing? Like, oh, that's fun. A couple new currencies, yay, yay, yay. I'm sure new special buildings to leverage those new currencies for the new shiny. We know how that goes. But just, I just want to encourage you guys to think about quality, enjoying the journey in this game, if you're that type of personality. If you're like smack talk, big guild, cool. That, like, I don't I don't rail against that. Like, that's fine. I played for a decade in, top two guilds, my whole career in this game. And I realized, for me, that was just rinse and repeat. It was just like doing laundry. I'm like, same shit every day, doing the same thing every day, not fulfilling. And I mean, shit, like, I play this game at least 4 or 5 hours a day. And, like, if I think about how many years I've done that, I don't know whether to, like, smack myself in the face, or quit, or tell someone else to punch me in the face. I don't know. But, like, we're here, and I just keep coming back to it. I have the same disease you do if you're watching this video at this point. Like, make the most of it, right? And so, if that means come on over to Ephesus and join the guild here that I've got, or go or make your own guild, or do whatever you want to do, I mean, that's cool. But I mean, we've had incredible growth in this guild. We've had some players, career players, that have just abandoned their other worlds. Like, they're like, well, this was a diamond farm, now it's my main. But that's because of the spirit. It's not because of the place, right? It's because of the vibe. It's because of, like, helping each other out. And like I said, we have a 75. I would challenge anyone in all the servers in this whole game to to you know talk about a 75-year age span, between the youngest and oldest player in the game that's active. That I didn't come up with myself. I didn't mean to do that. It just sort of happened. And I think that's one of the things that can happen as a happy accident from, doing what we're trying to do here. And in general, this server is quite generous. We have another guild that has started, like like a university thread, or several threads. There are some, like, where it's just a general guild wide, like we have a guild, or sorry, guild server wide 190. We've got server wide, um, trade threads, server wide, strategy. You're new to the game, etc. So it's it's really unique, and I think it's probably because this is the newest, right, of the servers rolled out, at least on the U.S. side. Um, and so I think it stands to reason. I mean, I gotta admit, US 11, I mean, L is like stale. I mean, it's just same shit every day, rinse repeat. And I'm not, for me, that's not the thing. For a lot of people, it is the thing, and that's fine. I'm not judging that. It's just I needed more from the game to stay in it, and so that's what we're doing. And this is keeping me in it because believe me, I would have quit by now this if this just hadn't sparked. I mean, it was like, hey, maybe I can just give all my shit away, and it turns out that the giving spirit is pretty strong. And I've met some amazing people. Like we share our stories in the threads. Like, tell us about yourself. Like if you want, it's not required. It's just like, hey, like who are you? What's your background? Where are you from? No big deal. Like you can share or not share. It's it's just really really cool. So I would encourage you to consider if you've made it to this point in the video to play the game in this manner. To check us out if you want to join up here or just start your own guild, do the same thing. But the whole idea is to like overload, you know, great buildings P1 through 3, and then offer P4, P5 at 1 FP for players that need it. Nobody greedy, nobody sniping in the guild. Just pay it forward. Unfair trades, high, low ages, all age spans of ages. Unfair trades in the favor of the guildmate, things like that. So that's what we're doing here, and it's just been energizing and amazing and just very cool. And I could never have imagined that, um, like me by myself, just starting this guild like a couple months ago, and then the first few joiners, Bear Wild and Victorious Vixen and Greg the Barbarian and a few others collateral. We've just had some amazing, amazing times so far, and more to come. So anyway, I hope this encourages you. I know this is a very different video from like, this is the new shiny and this is the new QI and all that stuff. But there's some really cool cats covering that stuff, and props to them. Um, so yeah, let me know what you think. Shout out, join us here, comment, whatever. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.